Hello, welcome to Simba's in the Kitchen. Today we're making coffee. With my lovely friends sent me some celebration coffee. Smell it. Step 1. Remove congratulatory note and save it for later. 2. Prepare the chopping board and move your onions to one side. Now we have our preparation space clear, it's time to get the coffee out. It's quite difficult to tear open by hand, but that's why God invented scissors. There! Now we've got the bag open, the first thing we get is that luscious smell. See those tasty beans in there. Let's get some of these out. Ooh, lovely beans. Tasty. What flavour have we got? We've got red brick, red apple, chocolate, caramel and raisin. Ooh, Colombian and Peruvian coffee here. This is very exciting. So the first thing we've got to do is we're making our tea in this cafetiere here. It's a tier 3 cafetiere, so that's kind of on the higher end of the spectrum, but it's probably very similar to one you've got at home. But it does mean we are going to have to chop up, or grind, as they say in the industry, these beans. Now to do that, you're going to need a very sharp knife. Okay, start by getting any excess onions off of your knife. And we're going to start with one of the biggest beans. The trick to grinding is first to cut the bean in half, and then in half again, 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 and then in half again. There we are. That's all there is to it. So I ground up my first bean. As you can see, it's quite a rough chop, but let's get the rest of these beans on to go. On to go. Okay, once you've finished grinding up your coffee, it'll be quite thin and powdery, but don't worry, that doesn't mean you've cut it up too much. That's actually what we want. Now it's time to add this to the cafetiere. Now we've transferred all the coffee to the cafetiere, it's time to add the water. Hot but not boiling. In she goes from the kettle. Put on the lid and we allow her to steep for 5 minutes. If you're tired of the flavour of your coffee, may I suggest, for a more robust and delicious flavour, instead of water, you use Chardonnay. It boils up very nicely. It does lose some of the alcohol, so you will still need to add whiskey to it. Now the coffee's been on the brew for about 5 minutes and we can tell it's ready because the water has transformed from the translucent water colour to this brown coffee colour. Now it's time to place the hat of the cafetiere and align it. You want to align the burr holes correctly, yep. So, next we plunge. Very slowly. Very slowly. Calm down. It's only coffee. Once the plungation is complete, it's time to pour the coffee. But to prepare my mug, I'm going to wash it out with hot water. The mug will be nicely warmed, which will keep the coffee hotter for longer. What a tasty cup. I say that, but can you trust me? Let's give this flavour a try. Oh, I like that. Oh, I'm gonna have another sip. That is one complex flavour. It's got some nice sweetness with the caramel. I'm not sure I'm tasting raisins, which is good because no one actually likes raisins, but you know, you got the sweetness from the fruits in there. That's a lovely brew. I've been looking forward to drinking an entire cup of it. And that's how you know it's a good cup of coffee. Good cup of coffee. But wait, remember those onions from earlier? Now's the perfect time to add them as a garnish.